Ladies and gentlemen, for good ideas and true innovation, you need human interaction, conflict, argument, and debates.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the show that gives intellectual high school students the opportunity to debate on Kenya's #1 platform. This is the Great Debaters Contest Season 9. I am your host, Chris Boru.
And I am Esperantia Kapanga. In today's debate, which is the final debate in Nairobi region, we have the motion, academic performance is the best indicator of potential for a successful life.
In the proposition, we have Our Lady of Mercy Secondary School.
And in the opposition are the gentleman from Strathmore School.
Who will be the greater debater?
Let's wait and see.
Proposer number 1, you have 3 minutes to make a statement.
Education is the key to success, Solomon Ortiz said. Education is the best weapon one can use to enhance their future, Nelson Mandela said. Academic performance is the best indicator of potential for success life, Githua Irene proposed. Now, indicator, something that shows the state or level of something. Potential, on the other hand, having or showing the capacity to develop into something in the near future. Success, the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. Now, education as the indicator of potential for successful life. What does this mean? What does education give to us? Qualified services. Now, Dr. Fred Matiang'i was once the cabinet secretary for education, and he noticed that most of the students who are venturing into different courses, say medication or engineering, they don't really have the qualified skills. They don't really produce the best of what they're being given. So he put stringent measures for grading these students, so that as you do this course, we are sure that if we put our students in your hands, as we put our patients into your hands, we get the best. So education is the best indicator of potential for successful life. Now, according to hivisasa.com on performances on indexes of governors, we see Governor Anyang' Nyong'o, Governor Kivutha Kibwana. These are professors, people who have passed through the hands of education. Look at how their countries have developed. Look at Machakos County. Counties have developed because their leadership, their leaders have been educated. They are consistent, hardworking. Now look at children who are out there on the streets. When we see them, we ask ourselves, oh my God, those street children are coming again. Why? Because they're annoying. They have no etiquette. They have no discipline. They just, some of them don't know how to carry themselves with decorum. But this is because they've not been educated on this. They've not been educated on how to carry themselves with more decorum. So a person with higher education will actually have more skills, capability of doing multiple tasks and earning a job employment. Now, when you go to schools, look at art teachers, art and design teachers, teachers who teach history or English or biology. You can't just call another person from nowhere to teach these lessons. So education offers a wider variety when it comes to job employment. Those who are not educated can't just do everything. They don't have the skills.
First proposer, you have 3 minutes to present your case.
Education. I agree, education is fantastic, and I have no problem at all with education. Education can be informal, however. Education can come from grandparents. But I thought the motion stated that academic performance is the best indicator of potential for a successful life. I agree wholeheartedly, education is the key. Education is teaching your young what is good, but this is not about education. This is about academic performance, what that report slip says. Now, the Cambridge definition of success is the achieving of results wanted or hoped for. Okay? And that's a very sketchy definition. For me, therefore, the results that I hope for and the best indicators are grit, discipline, hard work, and self-control. The rate of unemployment in Kenya has increased steadily in the past 10 years, according to africacheck.org. However, according to the World Bank, 1.5% of students have dropped out before secondary school. What does that mean? Many Kenyans are proceeding to secondary school. Only 1.5% did not make it. But why is our unemployment level still so high if our citizens are in fact educated? 93.4% of Kenyans between 20 and 24 have attended formal education, meaning only a meager 6.6 have never stepped in a classroom. Still, we have a very high level of people going to school, and the source for that is the Flanders Institute. Now, Einstein said that the spirit of thought and creative learning was lost in strict rote learning. What this means is that we have lost the main point of learning, education, as she has said, and we've made it about what you get, what your marks tell you. That can mean anything. People cheat in exams, people fake results and still get into institutes, but are they really intelligent? Who knows? UCLA Brain Mapping did a study in 2015, and it showed that high academic performance in 93% of their study group was linked with people who had social anxiety and socially awkward, and they didn't have social skills. This means that they were so focused on reading that they never took time to connect with the people around them. Meanwhile, a study done by Arts Columbia Society showed that those with lower academic scores had much higher social skills. And in fact, 73% of these people got a promotion 2 years before or in between that period of the study done. This shows that they were getting what they wanted. If it's a success they wanted in their job, fine, they got it. What about the people who had read so much? Were they moving in their careers? I don't think so. But then again, success is not based off money. I need to get this into all your heads because success is subjective. What makes you happy? Happiness. Okay, I'd like to tell you a story about a friend of mine who failed KCPE twice. But his passion was always art. He loved drawing and he loved sculpting. And when he came out of the system, he was able to get very good opportunities to sculpt. And he is Wankunje Kimunya, the one who sculpted those beautiful things outside JKIA. That was him. Is he successful? He achieved happiness. So yes, he is. Academic performance has nothing. Thank you.
Second proposer, you have 3 minutes for cross-examination.
Well. When we say academic performance is the best indicator for potential for a successful life, why can't we say it's the best shortcut? I mean, I get an A, I go to Harvard University, I go to a profession that I desire. Isn't that success? Besides, before I even get that job, it is success. It really doesn't mean I get to earn a lot of money. That is not the clear definition for success. Our dear opponents here started the motion and said something about how education is related to the motion. Now, a question to you. Where does academic performance come from? Can you be actually graded academically without education? No. We go through education to get a sense in life. We are thinking of a poor child who is intelligent, and this child needs to account for his life. And in order for them to be successful in life, they have to work hard, sacrifice, and get facts through education. And how does this come about? Academic performance. A question to you. Why are the biggest companies in the world having high requirements? Why? Because this world is a very competitive world. And without education, without good academic performance, how do we expect to get services from these companies? Now, let's just think back 10 years ago when we had President Mwai Kibaki as our president. He was a graduate from Harvard University. He was a graduate from Harvard University. And let us just think about the change that came into Kenya the moment he entered office. We had the Thika Road Superhighway. The SGR, for your information, is not a Jubilee government initiative. They are just finishing the projects that the President Mwai Kibaki had introduced. And all these projects, they're clear indications that a person who's intelligent needs to come up with better ways to better our society. So, if our President Mwai Kibaki was able to come up with all these things that are being implemented till now, went to a very first-class university, Harvard University, you want to tell me that academic performance is not an indicator? It is, because all the outcomes we get from all these results, from all these people who have succeeded in life, is a clear indication that we need intelligent people in our society today. Thank you.
Opposers, you have 3 minutes for cross-examination.
Now, I can't say I particularly feel good as I stand upon this stage, as my heart feels heavy for the poor child who was mentioned by our proposition. As a person who would know what exactly lacking money can bring to people, I don't think it's fair that we have restricted success to the definition provided. Now, the definition provided by both sides was rather vague and could accommodate many things. But unlike the proposition would have you believe, success is not a monochrome switch. Success is a spectrum filled with many different colors, and I would like to teach you to see in color. I think that, first of all, we should address the lies that we have been told. Our past president, Mwai Kibaki, did not go to Harvard, but rather went to LSA, London School of Academics. I'd like to say that if this fact on its own is false, then we are unsure how true everything else is. A study by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics found that 10,000 people last year enrolled for arts courses. Out of that sample size, who were later interviewed, only 37% of them said that they felt their degree was useful to them. Most of them were only able to succeed in life and make meaningful strides through self-expression. You know, when my uncle went to Japan, he came back to me with a saying that's really changed my life. In Japanese, he said, "Jibun rashku de isa," which translates to, being yourself is okay. And to me, success is proper self-expression. We can't say that everyone is going to be a genius. It simply takes one look at the KCSE results of this country to realize not everyone is going to pass. Albert Einstein himself said that he said, everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its life thinking it's stupid. I don't think it's fair for us to look purely at academic success because there are many people who have been able to accomplish much more with very little. Harriet Tubman freed over 300 slaves on 19 trips. A black woman in her time, 0 chance of education. She was lucky enough to be born and allowed to live. Born a slave and died a slave, no education. But what she did for black people is a historical phenomenon that we simply haven't seen in such a long time. Saint Mother Teresa, one of the women I have extreme respect for. She left her job as a principal to help people for charity in Calcutta. She did not need academic accolades. We do not remember her for that. We remember her for her kindness. That was her way of living. That was her expression. The expression by which we live our lives is what defines our success. Everyone can be successful at one thing because by turning success into this one condition that you have to fit in, it only breeds conformity. We aren't all geniuses. We can't lie to ourselves that academic performance is all we're going to use. We need our own talents, we need personality. We need to be ourselves. And that is why I'm here to tell you I'm Mark Gitaka, expressing myself and expressing why I don't believe that academic performance is the best indicator of success, or rather potential. Thank you.
The proposers have been asked, by saying that academic performance is the best indicator for success in life, aren't they promoting individuals that are not wholesome in life? What happens to people who have high emotional intelligence or even extracurricular talents? The opposers, on the other hand, have been asked, if not academic success, then what else can be used as a good indicator for the potential of a successful life? Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes to respond.
Success, to many people's perception, has many keys. It can either be wealth, it can either be power, but I say education is the key to success. With education, you can get academic performance. And that saying, education is the key to success, is by Solomon Ortiz. Najma Burhan from Our Lady of Mercy Secondary School, here to propose the motion. Now you asked a question. The simple answer is, with academic performance, everything, I mean everything, falls into place. It means that you get to go out of your way to the various fields of interest if you want. Now, on to my first point. Education, or shall I say academic performance, gives you your skill. A person with a higher education or with a higher academic performance will have more skills and is capable of making decisions for any place. You don't mean, yes, the opposers just talked about success. They talked about success as their own person, but I talk about if you're enabled academically, or if you have a high, let's say, if you have a high education level, look at the engineers. They built places because they have the high education level. With high education level, our country is built economically. With high education level, people are treated. Let's not focus on ourselves, but on everyone. Yes, an athlete runs and succeeds. He's successful for himself. But how does this affect the nation as a whole? An engineer has a high academic performance. A doctor has a very high academic performance. So, the only side I'm taking is, let's not think of ourselves, but for a nation. Thank you very much.
Opposers, you have 3 minutes to respond to your question.
My name is Vikshi Wayaki, and to me, success is mental health. I come from a background where in my family we have issues with mental health disorders. A few of my close relatives struggle daily with depression and anxiety. In fact, that's not the case for me alone. According to researchers from Daystar University, approximately 34% of the Kenyan population struggles with mental health disorders. I shall come back to that soon. But first, I'll answer the question asked. Which criteria can be used to determine our actual potential? I believe that if we give people the chance to do what they want and give young people a chance to try new things, then we can tell their potential. You see, the proposition has tried to make a direct link between education and academic performance. I personally learn chemistry nearly every day in school. That doesn't directly result in great academic performance in my chemistry exams. Now, SDG number 3 is about good health and well-being. As I said, success to me is mental health, and good mental health for that matter. You see, emphasis on academic performance puts a massive strain on the mental health of students. The American Psychological Association conducted a study in 2016 about depression in teenagers. Now, 75% of these teenagers blamed the stress of school on their depression. They blamed their depression on the strain of school. How can we tell the success of people if they're not performing at their best? If I told you my dad bought a new car, and that it's the best in the world, and it has no fuel, how would I back up that claim? If people aren't performing as well as they should, at their optimum, we can never tell their true potential. If you look at Elon Musk, he's the brilliant mind behind SpaceX, Tesla, and PayPal. Now, at the age of 10, he was diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which means that he struggles to keep focus on a certain issue for a long time. Now, he struggled massively in school but pulled through and is currently changing the world. Was his academic performance truly an indicator of his success in the future? I doubt that. A survey by the Business Insider also found that 45% of millionaires struggle from day to day with their mental health. This shows you that even if they may be well-read and have performed well in their books, that doesn't mean that they are truly successful. If you can't be yourself and you can't be the best version of yourself, can we truly say that you're successful? Thank you.
Proposers, you have 1 minute to make a final submission.
SGD number 4, quality education. Quality education is equals to good academic performance. Now, if the government itself knows the importance of academic performance, who are we not to know it? Now, Strathmore. One of the reasons, in fact, the only reason you're known is because of academic performance. Why are you insisting so much on academic performance if not potential for successful lives? In fact, I believe out of the good grading system our country has, the exams we do, you are the very epitome of academic performance. I mean, you are a boy child who doesn't wish to go to Strathmore School. My brother wants to go to Strathmore School. Why? Because they are very intelligent people. So crossover, my dear people.
Opposers, you have 1 minute to make a final submission.
There have been attacks made on my character and attacks made on my school. I'd like to begin by explaining that we are chosen to join this school based off our character. And if it were purely our grades, there would be no need for the rigorous interviews that I had to sit through and that I had to answer. We have a chaplaincy system. We have people questioning us on what decisions we make. And we are full people. Please do not look at us as a statistic. An A is not a person. An A is a letter on a sheet of paper, and that will never be even close to what we are. Now, they have chosen to focus on education and linked it to academic success. But my question is, what about SDG number 5, gender equality? What about the women who are married off and can't go to school? What about SDG 10, reduced inequality? What about our ancestors who wanted to have huge families but could not go to school or receive any form of academic training? What about my grandfather who was black and who was killed by white men because they didn't see his life as valuable? To him, success was having a family, and I told myself I wouldn't cry about this, but can we really rob everyone who has achieved what they wanted from life just because it doesn't fit our standards? Let's open our minds, please.
This is the finals, and I am proud of the ladies and the gentlemen that have made it this far. I think we've been through the first round, second round, and all through I've been mentioning your strengths and areas where you needed to work on, and I have seen that being brought on the stage. So I simply want to say, all the best.
It is awesome to work all your way up to the finals, and I should start by saying congratulations to the two teams. Your work was awesome. I don't have words to add. Thank you.
We're very proud of you both for being finalists at this stage. We have seen you fight again, and now you're back again. And, you know, sometimes decisions have to be made, and we shall be getting those decisions once we hear out the results. But thank you so much, and congratulations for what you've done.